afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV, Baba Gbagede Imo TV. I am Sanut Olakomi Ajikade. First, hear the major headlines for the national news. Under Buhari, Nigerians' debt rose by over 1 trillion naira in 3 months. Federal government expresses concerns over low rates of exam malpractices. 3 Russian companies among 11 bidders for Ajaokuta steel plant. Residents express worry as official town take over Anambra State. Man arrested for allegedly killing older lover. And lastly, on sports, Croatia drummed Brazil out of World Cup. Now hear the news in details. The Nigerian public debt profile rose by over 1 trillion naira in just 3 months, between June 30th to September 30th. A new release by the Debt Department's office revealed, as of September 30th, 2022, Nigeria's total debt stock rose to 44.06 trillion naira, as against 42.84 trillion naira recorded on June 30th, the DMO stated. The debt comprises the total domestic and internal debt stock of the federal government of Nigeria, all state governments, and the Federal Capital Territory Debt Management Office disclosed in a statement on Friday. According to DMO, the increase in the public debt stock was largely due to new borrowing by the federal government to finance the deficit in the 2022 Appropriation Act, with a proposal of further borrow over 11 trillion naira to fund the 2023 budget deficit. President Muhammadu Buhari may bequeath a debt profile in excess of 55 trillion naira when he leaves office next May. The federal government has said it is worried over the poor number of convictions recorded in cases of examination malpractices. Mr. Andrew Adejo, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, disclosed on Friday in Abuja at a one-day sensation workshop on examination malpractices in Nigeria, organized by the National Examinations Council in partnership with the National Assembly. Adejo was represented by the Director of Special Duties, Federal Ministry of Education, Zubairu Abdullahi. He said the government had at a various times come up with the laws to check the threat of exam malpractices, which are yet to produce the desired result. The decree of 1984 prescribing 21 years imprisonment upon conviction and the amended Examination Malpractices Act of 1991, which seek 5 years jail time or a fine of 250,000 naira. Olamilekan Adegbite, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, says 11 companies are presently involved in the concession bid for Ajaokuta Steel Company. Adegbite disclosed this to the presentation of the achievements of his ministry during the 9th edition of President Muhammadu Buhari Scorecard Series, organized by the Ministry of Information and Culture in Abuja on Thursday. The minister said the Buhari government has been able to resolve all contending legal issues with the steel company and was in the process of concessioning it to a competent bidder. He also said the major issue with the company was the concession that was done in 2005 by former presidents Olusegun Obasanjo to Global Steel, which resulted in litigation and a demand of $7 billion by the company. Mrs. Josephine Eze is a journalist with a respected daily newspaper based in Lagos State. She is a senior correspondent who covered the crime and education bill for the newspaper. She was recently in the East to attend her mother-in-law's burial, and on a fateful Wednesday, she was driving her family back to Lagos when she was apprehended in Onitsha and her vehicle impounded. According to her, she was driving behind another vehicle, which was going to Lagos too, and suddenly she missed the vehicle because of the traffic. I drove to a safe place and cleared off the road entirely to make calls to the other driver about the whereabouts. Then suddenly some other people, yellow vests, charged me and collected my car key and forcefully took out a place they said is their office. They charged me for wrongfully parking. Mrs. Eze insisted that she didn't get out of the car and that the idea of parking before a call was in order not to contravene the law of making calls while driving. She pleaded that she was driving her children to Lagos and needed to make the journey that day, but was in London until she called out 30,000 naira. One Shidu Ben Ozuagu has been arrested by the allegedly killing and stealing the car of his sugar mommy, older lover. The Enugu State Police Command, who confirmed the incident on Friday, identified the victim as Amarachi Shoko. Mr. Daniel Induge, the state police public relations officer, said police detectives serving in the homicide section of the State Criminal Investigations Department, Enugu State, working with police operatives in Imo Command on November 8, arrested Oswago within naked access of Owerri in Imo State. Indu Kwesa, the 22-year-old, was attempting to sell a Toyota Corolla car he stole from his older female after killing her at her house on November 1st. Investigation revealed that the suspect and his current at large had in morning hours of the mentioned date conspired and went to the house of the victim. And upon her resistance, they tied her hands, legs, and mouth with mount, locked her inside the house, and made away with the car. He further stated that her remains were found after the door was forced open by the operatives on November 4. The police spokesman added that the suspect has been arraigned in court upon the conclusion of the investigation and has been remanded in Enugu Custodial Center pending a hearing on the case. And lastly, on sports. Brazil has been eliminated from the 2022 World Cup after the loss in penalty shootouts to Croatia on Friday. The Selecoast came in the fourth quarter-final tie as odds favorites, having seen all South Korea 4-1 in the previous round. However, they struggled to break through Russia's defense, and when they did, Dominic Livakovic produced excellent saves to keep his team in it. Neymar eventually broke the deadlock in the first half of extra time, finishing off another fine team move. There was late drama with Bruno Petkovic deflected efforts, making it 1-1. The game went to penalties where Rodrigo and Marquinhos missed from 12 yards. Croatia will now face the winner of Argentina vs Netherlands in the semi-final. And that concludes the national news for this hour. But before we go, here's some of the major headlines once again. Under Buhari, Nigerian debt rose by over 1 trillion naira in 3 months. Federal government expresses concerns over low rates of exam malpractice convictions. 3 Russian companies among 11 bidders for Ajaokuta steel plant. Residents express worry as official town take over Anambra State. To join us on all our social media handles, on Facebook as Gbagede with Alawiye Adebayo. Follow us there and share the page. And on Instagram as Gbagede_22. Follow us there and share the page as well. And on YouTube as Baba Gbagede TV. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on your post notification bell. And for the placement of your advert, call the number showing on the screen. Thanks so much for always watching our news on BGI TV. I am Sanut Olakoni Ajikade. Bye for now.